There are voices that reach beyond the stage, beyond the polished microphones and the bright lights of sold-out arenas, and then there are voices that touch the deepest corners of your soul. Il Volo, Piero Barone, Ignazio Boschetto, and Gianluca Ginoble possess that rare, almost sacred gift. For over a decade, this Italian trio has turned concert halls into sanctuaries of emotion, weaving together operatic power and pop accessibility into something that feels both timeless and urgently present. But what happens when the curtain falls? What happens in those fleeting moments between the roar of the crowd and the quiet hum of the tour bus pulling away into the night? How do three young men, who've grown from hopeful teenagers into international icons, navigate the delicate dance of press obligations, intimate interviews, and relentless touring schedules while still preserving the very magic that makes them who they are? This is not just a story about logistics or time management. This is about vulnerability on the road, about three souls learning to balance the weight of expectation with the lightness of genuine connection. This is about how Il Volo manages to give themselves away, piece by piece, night after night, and still find enough left over to give again. Picture this, a backstage corridor in Tokyo, fluorescent lights buzzing softly overhead, the distant echo of an arena still vibrating with the energy of 20,000 voices. Piero sits in a folding chair, his bow tie loosened, his eyes reflecting a kind of exhausted elation. A journalist from a local music magazine asks him about the pressure of maintaining perfection on tour, and for just a moment, he pauses. The silence stretches, and you can almost see him reaching inward, searching for words that haven't been rehearsed. When he finally speaks, his voice is quieter than it was on stage just 30 minutes earlier. He talks about fear, the fear of disappointing someone who traveled hours to see them, the fear of his voice cracking on a note that matters. Fans who've read that interview describe the moment as heartbreakingly honest, a reminder that even angels worry about their wings. Did you feel this moment too, even from thousands of miles away? Then there's the morning after a show in Buenos Aires, when the trio sits together for a radio interview that was supposed to last 15 minutes but stretches into nearly an hour. The host, clearly moved by the previous night's performance, asks them about their connection to their audience. Ignazio leans forward, his hands animated as he describes watching a grandmother and her granddaughter singing along to Grande Amore, in perfect harmony, tears streaming down both their faces. He talks about how that single image, glimpsed from the stage, became the reason he pushed through exhaustion for the next city, the next show, the next chance to create that kind of moment again. The emotional weight in his voice was palpable even through the radio waves, and listeners from across South America later shared how this interview stayed with them long after the tour buses left town. Managing press while touring means learning to be present even when your body is screaming for rest. It means sitting in a hotel conference room in Munich at 7 in the morning, jet-lagged and hoarse, and still finding the grace to answer questions about your artistic evolution with genuine thoughtfulness. Gianluca once described this balance in a magazine feature, comparing it to holding water in your hands. You have to cup your palms just right, gentle but firm, or everything spills away. He was talking about protecting their authenticity while fulfilling professional obligations, about staying true to the music even when the schedule demands they talk about it more than they perform it. Many in the audience who read that piece were seen nodding in recognition, understanding that this struggle isn't unique to Il Volo but is somehow made more poignant by the purity of their artistry. There's a particularly touching story from their North American leg, whispered among fan communities and shared in YouTube comment sections like a precious secret. After a grueling day of back-to-back interviews in New York, morning television, radio spots, podcast recordings, and a live-stream Q&A, the trio had exactly 45 minutes before their soundcheck. Instead of resting, they requested a small meeting with a group of fans who'd flown in from different states, some dealing with illness, others celebrating personal milestones. In that cramped green room, with no cameras rolling and no journalists taking notes, they simply talked. They listened. They hugged. They signed albums and took selfies and asked questions about these strangers' lives with genuine curiosity. Viewers around the world who later heard about this encounter shared how this simple act of kindness, sandwiched between professional obligations, revealed more about Il Volo's character than any polished interview ever could. The physical toll of touring is one thing, the vocal strain, the time zones, the endless airports, but the emotional labor of constant interviews requires a different kind of stamina. In a candid moment during a French television appearance in Paris, Piero admitted that sometimes the hardest part isn't singing the same songs night after night, but finding new ways to talk about them without the words becoming hollow. On Il Volo devotees who recognize the profound honesty in his confession. Have you ever felt music like this belong, in some ways, to everyone who loves your music? It means understanding that your exhaustion matters less than someone's moment of connection, that your need for privacy must sometimes yield to the hunger of those who see you as a bridge to something transcendent. But Il Volo has learned, through trial and beautiful error, that authenticity can't be scheduled or media trained away. They've discovered that the most powerful interviews happen when they let their guard down, when they speak from the place that their music comes from, somewhere deep and honest and achingly human. As cities blur together and microphones multiply, as one interview bleeds into the next and one tour stop becomes indistinguishable from another, Il Volo holds on to something essential, the reason they started singing in the first place. Not for the cameras or the headlines, but for the feeling that happens when voices unite, when melody becomes memory, when three young men from Italy somehow manage to make the whole world feel like home. Which city's performance touched you the most? What moment made you believe in music's power to heal? Share your stories below, join this global family of believers, and let's continue this beautiful conversation. Like this video if Il Volo has ever moved you to tears, subscribe for more stories from the heart of live music, and remember, some voices don't just entertain us. They save us.